My beloved of Britain, hear me, you who dwell in the British Isles across this ancient land, from the Scottish Highlands to the white cliffs of Dover, from the rolling hills of Wales to the mist-veiled moors of Yorkshire. You didn't land here by mistake. Something deep inside your British soul pulled you here, and that something is not of this world. Heaven has been watching you closely. Yes, you. The one who's been doubting, the one who's been crying quietly beneath the gray skies, smiling in public while silently praying for a sign that this pain has a purpose. And now the moment has come. Archangel Michael is standing right next to your energy, speaking these words through fire and divine urgency across the United Kingdom. Your next season is activating, but if you ignore this now, the door may close forever. This is not a test. This is a sacred unlock, and heaven doesn't knock twice with this kind of force. You've waited, you've suffered, you've been silent while the world misunderstood you. But behind the scenes, angels have been preparing a stage so big for you, even your past will bow in shock. But the catch, you have to step into it now, not tomorrow, not next week, because delay equals denial in this divine moment. They thought they buried you, but heaven was planting you. And now the soil of Britannia is trembling because your roots have become too powerful to ignore. Archangel Michael has been battling forces you couldn't see, forces that were trying to delay this very moment. People who pretended to love you have spoken your name in rooms where God never sent them. Secrets were formed against you. Plans were made to strip your confidence, your calling, your money, your name. But Michael, he stepped in like the warrior he is. He tore contracts in the spirit. He shattered curses spoken in envy. He fought beside you in the shadows when you thought you were completely alone. And now he's at your feet crying because he's afraid you're about to miss the reward. There is a specific door opening for you right now. Not just any door, your door. But if you scroll past this, if you treat this like just another motivational message, that door may close and stay closed for a long, painful season. Please don't do that to yourself again. Please don't keep choosing the old pain over the new prophecy. Michael has seen the version of you that hasn't been born yet, and it's glowing with divine fire. Heaven calls you chosen, but chosen ones don't get to move like everyone else. You feel everything. You sense everything. You break before the storm so others can survive inside of it. And now it's your time. This is your moment to choose fire over fear, to choose promise over pain, to choose purpose over past. He's not asking for perfection. God is asking for presence right here, right now. Are you going to step into what was prophesied or walk away again and let your miracle rot in silence? You know what's wild? Your enemies already sensed it. They've been unusually quiet because they feel something shifting in your favor. That fake friend who suddenly distanced themselves. That person who suddenly got cold. They're not confused. They're exposed. They felt your glow coming and didn't want to watch you rise. But they'll watch anyway, because Archangel Michael is making sure this time your elevation won't be hidden. And if they couldn't handle your broken version, they're going to choke when they see your crown version. But first, you must stay in the room with God long enough to receive the strategy. Yes, you're tired. Yes, you're drained. But this isn't the end. This is your pressure ache. It always hurts before you rise. And that heaviness in your spirit isn't depression. It's the tension of heaven stretching your wings. You are a soul on the edge of flight, and Archangel Michael is your wind. This season is divine warfare, but also divine reward. Because while you were crying, your name was being written into a new scroll. A scroll that says, release the restoration. It's time. But the fine print says only if they answer this moment. You've come too far to freeze now. You've suffered too long to fall now. You've endured too much to miss this fire. So please don't skip this. Don't scroll. Don't dismiss it. Before you read on, if this is piercing your heart right now, then this message is for you. Subscribe right now and stay connected to these divine signals, because missing the next one could mean missing everything you've been praying for. Michael says, your enemies were hoping you'd self-destruct before your season started, but you didn't. You crawled through, you bled through, you limped through, and heaven watched every single moment. And now the reward is in motion. But God is a God of timing, and right now the clock is ticking. The divine door is turning, but it won't stay open forever. You know that opportunity you thought you lost. It's circling back, But it's not coming to the version of you that doubts yourself. It's coming to the awakened you, the bold you, the spiritually alert you, because you're not who you were last year, not even who you were last week. You're evolving, and heaven's been waiting for you to realize it. My beloved of Britain, someone's about to come back from your past, but not to love you, to test if you've healed. Michael warns, don't fall for it. This isn't the season to revisit what God already closed. It's the season to run toward what He's finally opening across the British Isles. And that's why this message is burning in your soul, because your next season is about to demand more from you. And whenever God calls His children of the United Kingdom into a new season, He never asks them to walk into it without giving them the wisdom, the strength, and the direction they need for the journey ahead. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing across this ancient land, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart beneath the gray skies, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear. You are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why God has placed a simple path before you, the 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation in England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comments below. Now stay with me, because what heaven is about to reveal next will prepare you for the season God is opening before you. And you cannot afford to miss what comes next. More courage, more boundaries, more faith, more clarity. You're not soft, you're sacred, and it's time you stop apologizing for it. They couldn't handle the parts of you that were still growing, but they'll be forced to witness the glory that comes next. Michael says they'll regret the way they treated you, but your job is not to get revenge. Your revenge is your rise. And when you rise, rise loud across Britannia. Rise free. Rise with fire in your bones and grace on your face. Because heaven didn't save you from all those breakdowns for you to walk around like a survivor. You're a warrior, a voice, a shift in your entire family line. The generational curse ends with you. And the wealth, the peace, the clarity, the divine connections, they begin with you. So stop wondering if you're worthy. You're more than worthy. You're overdue. Archangel Michael didn't fight all those nights for you to hesitate. Now, heaven isn't sending this final message because you're weak. They're sending it because you're next. Yes, your next season isn't coming. It's already here. But if you skip this sacred moment, the door may close and the delay may return. Don't let fear steal what faith built. Say yes now. You've come this far, and heaven is watching. Because right now, as you keep reading, a spiritual confirmation is unfolding in the background of your life, across the realm, one you've waited years for, one your soul has been quietly begging for, while your mouth kept smiling in front of everyone. The spirit realm is holding its breath, wondering, will you finally choose yourself this time? Not the version they told you to be, not the version that keeps shrinking to fit the rooms that dim you, the real you, the divine, radiant, prophetic, intuitive, bold, God-breathed version. Because that version, oh, the gates of hell are terrified of them. That's the version Michael sees when he looks at you. And right now, he's in spiritual tears because that version is being born. But it's fragile, and it needs your decision to live. Someone close to you is spiritually intimidated by what's awakening in you. And they're going to try to confuse you with fake love, with sweet words, with guilt disguised as care. But Archangel Michael already saw it coming. That's why this message reached you before they did. Because heaven never lets a chosen Briton go into battle without a divine strategy. And now that the blueprint is here, you're going to feel one of two things: a fire in your bones or a fear in your gut. Whichever shows up first, that's your confirmation. Because the breakthrough is already in motion, but it's waiting on one thing: your full alignment. The old you wants to return. It wants to doubt, to delay, to hide. But the next season will not unlock for the version of you that keeps second-guessing divine orders. This is a command, not a suggestion. Michael has waited long enough. The hosts of heaven are shifting timelines to make space for your next chapter. But space doesn't equal arrival. You still have to show up. And that means dropping the guilt, the people, the habits, the shadows, and stepping fully into your divine permission, because this is your time. You know it. You felt it building, the restlessness, the tension. It wasn't anxiety. It was activation. You've been feeling stuck because your spirit outgrew the environment you've been forcing yourself to survive in. And Michael has been silently screaming, "Get out." That space is shrinking you. So here's your warning and your blessing wrapped in fire. If you ignore this now, the door may close forever. And not because God is punishing you, but because delay is disobedience in a prophetic season. When the angels move, you move. When heaven speaks, you listen. When the old calls, you hang up. And when your next season knocks, you run toward it with every part of your spirit alive and surrendered. Let this sink in like oil to your bones. You are being called up, not out. You're being chosen forward, not judged backward. And the people who left you, they weren't capable of loving the future version of you anyway. They had to go before your miracle arrived. Michael didn't remove them out of cruelty. He removed them out of divine protection. Some of them were portals to pain, open doors for darkness, and their expiration date was written the moment your calling got confirmed. But now that the space is cleared, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to fill it with doubt again? Are you going to let old insecurities repopulate your sacred ground? Or are you going to say yes, boldly, fully, powerfully to the fire that God has ignited inside of you? Because your next chapter doesn't begin when things feel good. It begins when you decide you're done playing with potential. This is war. This is glory. This is the divine collision. The blessing is real. The favor is real. The protection is real. But so is the deadline. Michael won't say it again. He's been fighting for your destiny long enough. Now he needs you to meet him halfway. My beloved of Britain, and when you do, heaven is going to move so fast in your favor that even your enemies across the realm will say, "Only God could have done that." This next season of your life across the United Kingdom is going to terrify the people who thought you were finished. It's going to silence the mouths that laughed when you were low. It's going to rewrite every lie spoken over your name in rooms you weren't invited to. Because God's about to make your name echo in places you've never even stepped into. But this only happens if you don't walk away from this fire. You've danced around this level for years. Now it's time to own it. The angels are ready. The scroll is open. Your name is glowing. But the final move, it's yours. And you have seconds left to choose. You were never forgotten. Not for 1 second. Not during the nights you cried with your face buried in your hands. Not during the silent breakdowns in bathrooms, pretending everything was fine outside the door. Not even when you begged God for answers and heard nothing but silence. Michael was there. Heaven was watching because the silence wasn't absence. It was strategy. They weren't ignoring you. They were rearranging the battlefield. You wanted fast answers. God was building permanent freedom. And now everything is shifting across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But here's the truth. Some doors only stay open for a moment. And this moment right now, this very second, is your window. What you do with this determines what opens or closes next. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to be more or less or perfect. You just need to stop ignoring what's been calling your soul. You know you've outgrown that circle. You know that job drains your light. You know that person isn't sent by God, no matter how much you wanted them to be. And still you stay. You second guess. You pretend. But pretending is expensive when the price is your purpose. Michael has seen you dim your glow just to make others comfortable, but he's not allowing it anymore. This next chapter, it will require the real you. The one that's been hidden, the one that's been mocked, the one that's been betrayed and silenced and still chooses love. That version is your ticket out, but it can't breathe in a room full of fear. So if it scares you, good. That's how you know it's the right door. If it stretches you, go. If it makes your heart race and your stomach flip, run toward it, because spiritual comfort zones are spiritual cages. And heaven didn't keep you breathing through all those silent battles just so you could decorate your cell. You are not here to survive. You're here to shake the atmosphere with your divine presence. But that starts by saying no more to anything that delays your rise. It's not easy, But easy isn't holy. And what's holy isn't always comfortable. You're going to have to let go of things you prayed for because they're no longer in alignment. You're going to have to walk away from people you thought were forever because they were only for the lesson. You're going to have to stand alone for a moment before heaven sends your real tribe across this ancient land. But baby, what comes after will feel like resurrection. You'll sleep again without fear. You'll wake up without dread. You'll laugh again, belly laugh, real joy, sacred release, because your soul won't be begging for crumbs anymore. Michael is ready. God is ready. And your spirit, it's been screaming for this shift. It's been trying to tell you that something is coming. And you've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange energy, that buzzing in your chest, that knowing that things are about to flip. That's not your imagination. That's heaven sending alerts through your intuition. And they're saying this: you're either going to own your power or surrender it to people who don't even deserve to speak your name. You can't stay halfway chosen anymore. You can't say you trust God and still negotiate with your trauma. That old life has expired. That old story has lost its power. Now you must choose the new one, even if your voice shakes while doing it. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the commitment to rise anyway. And if you rise right now, you'll witness miracles that will make the tears worth it. Doors will open that even money can't buy. Your name will be whispered in rooms your feet haven't even stepped into yet. Favor will find you and embarrass the shame that tried to destroy you. But this is your moment to activate it, to say yes to the fire in your bones and no to the fear in your head. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. And legendary souls don't wait for approval. They follow divine instruction. Michael is watching. The door is open, but it's not open forever. You must choose now, and here we are. The part of the story where everything begins to turn. Not because the pain is over, not because all the answers have arrived, but because you're finally ready to stop asking for permission to shine. Archangel Michael has been standing by, watching your soul beg for things you were born to command. Watching you settle for people who can't even carry the weight of your name in prayer. Watching you replay moments that should have been released lifetimes ago. And now he's saying enough. The time for begging is over. The time for shrinking is over. The time for walking on eggshells in rooms where your light makes others uncomfortable is over. This is your time to step into what heaven already said was yours. No more delays. No more distractions. No more giving your sacred energy to people who aren't even meant to know your favorite color, let alone your sacred wounds. You've carried burdens for generations. You've prayed through trauma you didn't cause. You've held others while you were bleeding, and still you didn't quit. That's why God is choosing you now. Because even when your heart was shattered, your spirit stayed open. Even when people walked away, you kept showing up with grace. Even when you didn't understand the why, you still bowed your head and whispered, "Let it be you, Lord." And heaven heard every word. Michael counted every tear. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. That job didn't work out. That person ghosted you. That friend switched up. That plan collapsed. Good, because God needed to clear your plate before serving you what your soul actually deserves. And now the angels are circling across Britannia. They're getting loud. They're getting excited. They're clearing a path for your divine next step. But it all hinges on this. Will you say yes to the new, or will you keep dressing up the old? The door is open, but Michael won't hold it forever, because you weren't made to stand in waiting rooms forever. You were made to walk through fire and come out crowned. You were made to shake the gates of fear and leave footprints of power. You were made to shift bloodlines, break curses, unlock legacies, and yes, it's scary. Yes, you'll lose some people. Yes, it will feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar doesn't mean unsafe. It means you're not repeating hell anymore. It means you're not circling the same wilderness. It means your spirit is finally answering the call your British ancestors couldn't. They tried. Oh, they tried. But they didn't have what you have. They didn't know how to pray through spiritual warfare like you do. They didn't have Archangel Michael standing in the gap for them. But you do. You have the backing of heaven behind you, and all you have to do now is move. My beloved of Britain, God isn't asking you to know how it all unfolds. He's asking you to trust the nudge, the whisper, the burning in your belly that says, I can't go back to that life. Because you can't. You won't. You're too awakened now, too aware, too on fire across the British Isles. And if you stay in places your spirit has outgrown, you'll start to suffocate in the very rooms you used to beg to be in. That's why this feels so intense across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Because your next season isn't waiting politely. And whenever God begins opening the door to a new season, He never leaves His children without the wisdom, the strength, and the practical direction they need to walk through it with confidence. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying across this ancient land, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest beneath the gray skies. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why God has placed a simple path before you, the 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day, you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated, just small, faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments below. Now stay with me, because what heaven is about to reveal next will show you why this new season is arriving with such power, and why your decision today matters more than ever. It's crashing through your life across Britannia, demanding entry, setting off every alarm in your soul. And if you say yes, you'll never question your worth again. You'll never beg for love again. You'll never water down your calling for applause. You'll become the version of you your enemies never saw coming. You'll become the prophecy in motion. You'll become the storm they said you'd never survive and still rise. But say no. Ignore this moment. Scroll past like it was just another nice message. And you may spend the next few years wondering why the miracles stop showing up. Because God doesn't bless silence when He's asking for movement. Michael doesn't send fire for comfort. He sends it for transformation. And this fire, this message, it was heaven's final knock. What you do now will echo through every part of your future. So, what's it going to be? Whispers or war cries, lukewarm or legendary, timid or chosen? You already know the answer, and now the angels do too. Rise and don't look back. You're no longer who you were. And heaven's been waiting for you to realize it. Look at you. Still here, still standing, still reading. That alone is a miracle across the realm. You don't even realize how many storms were designed to end you. How many traps were set? How many prayers were spoken against you? How many times darkness whispered, they won't make it? But guess what? You did, and not just barely. You made it through. With your light still flickering, with your spirit still soft, with your faith still breathing. That's why Archangel Michael won't stop fighting for you. Because there's something inside of you that even hell can't break. You're not reading this by chance. This is not content. This is a divine call. And if your hands are shaking while reading, if your eyes are burning, if your soul feels like it's sitting on a volcano, good. That's confirmation, because your destiny is too big to arrive quietly. It will erupt. It will roar. It will pull you into spaces your trauma said you weren't qualified for. But God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And baby, you are called. That anxiety, that heaviness, that overthinking, it's all part of the friction before flight. And Michael is standing right now across the United Kingdom, sword drawn, wings expanded, whispering to you with love and urgency. Don't go back. Don't give up. Don't delay. The next season has already started. You can't even see the way heaven has started shifting things behind the scenes. People are being removed. Contracts are being broken. Paths are being rerouted. All to make space for the version of you that finally says, I'm ready. And when you say it, really say it with your chest, with your heart, with your soul wide open. The universe will answer so loud that your past will have no choice but to let you go. The things that used to bind you won't even fit anymore. The rooms you begged to be in, they'll beg to have your presence now. And the people who counted you out, they'll whisper your name with regret. But don't go back to prove a point. Go forward to fulfill a promise. God is not playing with your timeline anymore. You've asked for the signs. You've begged for the clarity. You've screamed, God, if this is really for me, show me. This is the answer. This is the moment heaven has been building toward. This is the door Michael cracked open, just wide enough for your spirit to slip through. But only if you're brave enough to stop entertaining the version of you that's already expired. That version of you that people could manipulate. The version that stayed silent while others crossed every boundary. The version that watered down their fire just to keep the peace. She's gone. He's done. They've died in the fire. And now what's rising is royalty. His legacy is raw, anointed, chosen power. You are the curse breaker. You are the prayer answered. You are the storm survivors whisper about when they say, I don't know how they're still standing. Michael knows how. God knows how. And now you do too. Because you didn't come this far just to pause at the threshold of your breakthrough. You came to blow the door off its hinges. You came to activate the timeline that was stolen. You came to wake up the generations before you and bless the ones after you. And if anyone ever asks why you changed, why you cut people off, why you stopped explaining your calling, why you suddenly started walking like you've been crowned, you tell them this because heaven finally said, it's my turn. And when heaven speaks, everything else falls silent. Let the opinions fall. Let the judgments crumble. Let the old energy fade. The next version of you is too sacred to be touched by anything less than divine fire. And the only thing you owe anyone now is a front row seat to the miracle called you. So take this message, plant it in your soul, and let it water every buried dream. Let it resurrect every forgotten promise. Let it burn away every excuse you ever had for why you couldn't rise. Because now you have no excuses left. Only power, only purpose, only prophecy. And Archangel Michael, he's already gone ahead of you, clearing the way, lighting the path, wearing in the spirit because he knows one thing. You finally started to believe, too. You're unstoppable. Now, before you leave this moment, before the world pulls your attention away again, pause. Your soul didn't come all this way just to feel inspired and forget. It came here for instruction, for confirmation, for activation. And now that the door is open, you have a choice to make. Will you scroll and silence the very message heaven screamed into your timeline? Or will you lock in, rise up, and stay connected to the divine fire that's been chasing you for years? This isn't about content. This is about covenant. So if your spirit has been stirred, if you felt seen, called, protected, or awakened, then don't let this be the last divine message you receive. Subscribe now. Not for the algorithm, not for the numbers, but for your own alignment. Because these words are heaven's way of reaching you through the noise. And every time you receive them, a part of your destiny becomes clearer, louder, stronger. So click that button, seal the covenant, let the angels know you heard them loud and clear this time. And as we close this sacred scroll, may every delay be broken. May every hidden enemy be exposed. May every divine door fling open. And may you finally walk in the kind of peace that makes no sense except to God. Archangel Michael is no longer warning. He's celebrating because you didn't skip. You stayed. You listened. You remembered who you are, and now it's your time. Let it begin. And now let everything fall away. Every distraction, every whisper of doubt, every voice that once told you to play small. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the sacred moment you were born for across the British Isles. The one your ancestors cried out for. The one that heaven wrote into your story before you ever took your first breath. You didn't come this far to simply feel inspired for a few minutes and return to the life you were told to settle for. You came here because your soul was summoned, because something in you was always waiting for this very activation. You've lived long enough under the weight of almost and not yet. You've danced with doubt and called it discernment. You've been loyal to fear because it felt familiar, but that season is over. Heaven has ripped the veil, broken the delay, shattered the lies, and now stands fully open before you, waiting not on perfection, but on your permission to move. This is the moment the spirit world has been watching for, and they're not watching in silence anymore. They're celebrating because you remembered. You remembered that you are more than what they told you, more than your pain, more than your past, more than your mistakes across the United Kingdom. You are the fulfillment of prophecy. You are the answer to the question generations before you asked in their darkest nights. You are the one chosen to finish what others were too bound, too bruised, too broken to complete. And the fact that you stayed until now, through the fire of this message, through the pull of distraction, through the ache of truth pressing into old wounds, proves that you're ready. Yes, ready. Not perfect, not fully prepared, just willing. And that's all heaven needs to move mountains. You don't need to see the whole path. You only need to take the next sacred step. Because every step you take now is not just for you. It's for every soul connected to your calling across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. For every future child, every broken friend, every searching heart that will one day find their miracle because you chose to rise. This is the ripple. This is the echo. This is the decision that becomes a destiny. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand the fire that just awakened in your bones. You owe no explanation for your glow up. You owe no apology for your calling. You owe no loyalty to who you had to be when you were surviving. That chapter is over. That version of you is retired. And now what's rising is something the world cannot name because it was birthed in heaven. It carries divine fingerprints. It walks with angelic covering. It breathes with holy intention. You don't have to try so hard anymore. You don't have to force your way through doors that were never yours. You don't have to shrink to stay lovable. You are already loved by the one who designed every corner of your soul with sacred precision. And if that love has carried you this far, imagine what it will do next. So take this final moment and don't just feel the words. Become them. Become the prophecy. Become the light. Become the living miracle. And when you walk away from this message, don't just walk back into the world. Walk forward into your promise. Let your voice shake rooms. Let your presence shift atmospheres. Let your truth heal bloodlines. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not too broken to be chosen. You are exactly on time, fully in place, and more powerful than you have ever realized. And now that your eyes are open, now that your heart is burning, now that your soul is aligned, there's no going back. Heaven doesn't bring someone this far only to leave them in the middle. The path ahead is paved with breakthrough. The air around you is thick with miracles. And your name is being spoken in the courts of angels with reverence and fire. You are the shift. You are the storm. You are the answered prayer that the world didn't see coming, but heaven always knew would arrive. Let the scroll close now, not as an ending, but as a beginning. Let it settle in your spirit that you are divinely positioned, heavenly backed, and eternally chosen. And the next time life dares to question who you are or why you're rising, just whisper back with holy certainty, because heaven said, "It's my time." And remember, beloved, this mission continues because of faithful hearts like yours across this ancient land. Every message you receive here reaches someone else because people choose to keep this light shining. My beloved of Britain, if this message has touched your soul, subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the next message of Archangel Michael. Share this word with any Briton who needs it right now.